Hello and welcome back to another empowering episode of the Playground Talks podcast, the go-to podcast for busy parents who want to own their parenting style. I am Temi Afriat, your host and a mother of three and a passionate parent coach, and I'm here to guide you through the exciting journey of raising confident, independent little life. So today we actually dive into what parenting style means. We're going to explore the delicate balance between child autonomy and parent authority, inspired by the great book called Raising Lions by Joe Newman. And I want to start by reflecting on this powerful quote from this book. So Joe Newman says, "Today's parents and teachers are creating lions. Current approaches to parenting and teaching develop children who are strong-willed, confident, self-assured, and unafraid to speak their minds. But while we are creating lions, we are behaving like lambs. Our child rearing has become overprotective and hypersensitive. The problem is lambs cannot effectively raise lions." So I really resonate with this quote. And when I just started working with parents, I realized that one of the main issues that parents struggle with is actually visioning their parenting style, because in previous generation, the authoritarian parent style was more acceptable. And today, the pendulum has shifted to the more permissive parenting style. And that's why Joe Newman says that's not an effective way to raise children. So let's dive in and say, what are those parenting styles? And as I describe those, I invite you to think, where do you see yourself in a scale between being a permissive parent, authoritative parent, or authoritarian parent? And I want to tell you that even for myself, I think that there is a difference. Even for one child, I'm being more permissive, where for the other child, I'm being more authoritarian. And there could be also differences by the way you parent in different areas of your life. For example, you set more clear boundaries around food, but you are more permissive when it comes to screen time. So I'm just saying that this is a scale that we talk about, and that might changes from one area to your life to another and from one kid to another. So keep that in mind. And I do want to mention that one of the resources I've used for this episode is the NCBI, National Library of Medicine. This article that calls Types of Parenting Style and Effect on Children was last updated September 2022. And I will attach this to the show note if you want to have a look as well. So let's dive in and start with, what is authoritarian parent style look like? So it means that the parents establish strict rules without explanation. That's kind of a one-way communication style. So the parent says something and he expects strict obedience and compliance with their children, leaving no room for negotiation and even error. So mistakes are often met with punishment and are not welcome as a growth approach. In this article, they say that while children raised under authoritarian parents may appear well-behaved and capable of following instructions precisely, they may also exhibit a higher level of aggression, shyness, and an inability to make independent decisions. So as I mentioned before, punishing kids, yelling at them, treating them aggressively are not accepted anymore. And that's why, in a way, the pendulum has shifted to be more permissive. So once I heard that there is the N word, and I was like, what is the N word? And so this parent told me, that's no. We're not saying no to our kids. And so those parents choose to be permissive, which is characterized by establishing loose or even no boundaries at all. There is no clarity of what's the expectation from the child. And sometimes they act even more like friends than parents. And they allow the children to figure things out for themselves and make limited use of discipline. So while children of permissive parents may have some self-esteem and decent social skills, there are potential drawbacks to these parenting styles. because the limited rules and the freedom given to the children extends to the decision about bedtime, homework, screen time. This can lead to the development of negative habits. In addition, children of permissive parents may exhibit traits such as impulsiveness, demanding behavior, selfishness, and a lack of self-regulation. So I hope that by that point, you get what Joe is trying to say, that being either permissive parent or authoritarian parent is not the ideal way to rear your child. So now let's describe what authoritative parenting means. So in authoritative parenting, the parents establish clear boundaries, and there is a clarity around what's the rules, what's the expectation, and also parents in the authoritative parenting style communicate assertively and openly with the kids, leave the kids a room for negotiation and asking questions. The parents also actively listening to their children, to their thoughts, their feelings, their opinions, and they take into consideration the needs and feel of the child. So it's not a child-driven, permissive parenting style, or it's not just parent-driven, like you can see in the authoritarian parenting style, but it's actually more mutually respectful of need of every person in the household. So what's happening in those kind of relationship is that the parents develop close and nurturing relationship with the children, providing clear guidelines and explaining the reasons behind disciplinary actions. And the whole perspective is that discipline is a form of support rather than punishment. This parenting style leads to healthy outcomes for children, fostering confidence, responsibility, and self-regulation. And children of authoritative parents effectively manage negative emotions, leading to better social and emotional well-being. And when we circle back to Lamb's Raising Lions, I think the main question is, how do you give this child autonomy while keeping your parental authority? And so this is something that we will discuss in the next episode, so stay tuned. However, in the meanwhile, as a wrap up to this episode, I encourage you to reflect on your own parenting style. Are you behaving like a lamb, avoiding conflict with your kids, afraid of saying no and setting and holding the boundaries? Or are you setting very strict, unflexible boundaries and you find yourself many times in a power struggle? So we will touch in the next episode how to set boundaries and how to recognize when that's actually a power struggle and you're not setting a boundary or holding a boundary. I invite you, if you need extra support and you find yourself exhausted from being a parent or not confident of what do you do and how to do it, I invite you to leave me a message or book a 30 minutes free call. All the links are in the show note. So thanks for joining the Playground Talks podcast. I hope you now feel empowered and you can start envision what parenting style you want to embrace. Until the next episode, treat yourself and your kids with compassion and curiosity. Bye!